They are the 6th seed, so they're not in a bad position. I mean, they're a playoff team right now. They just don't want to play in that new, I guess they call it the round robin, where they have that one game and they can lose that one game and get knocked out of the playoffs. They want to be in that top 4 where they have Memphis right now. I'm sorry, Ja Morant has been sensational. I mean,
they won the last 3 games without him playing. Too.
I mean, he's special, absolutely special. But God, Speedy.
I was gonna say we saw last year the Lakers be a 7 seed, and maybe like Errol was saying, the extra games in the round robin kind of took a toll on an older team. But we've also seen in the past LeBron, the cliche is LeBron, it doesn't matter what seed you are. He could be playoff LeBron. The Cavs in 2007 went to the finals, I think it was a 4 seed. The Cavs, when Kyrie Irving got hurt in 2018, went to the finals as a 4 seed. They beat the Celtics. We've seen certain other teams be not number 1 seeds and LeBron still do well with those kinds of things. So is it different in the Western Conference, do you think? Did last year prove that kind of thing? Is it still a small sample size? Or is it maybe the gap closing between the West and the East more than we've seen?
This might sound disrespectful to the other franchises, but it's only like 5 good teams in the NBA right now. By far, they could win on their worst nights. You know what I mean? You got Phoenix, you got Brooklyn, you got Golden State,
Utah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like these teams, you know, you throw that out there and you really look at it, it's not as close as you think it is. You know what I mean? But we're all hoping that these teams, you know what I mean? When you're saying teams will win a series out of respect, like, oh, the Miamis, you know what I mean? You're loosely throwing those teams out, and it's the same thing. And the Lakers aren't really the top dog. It's Phoenix and Golden State. You know, like I honestly don't think that the Lakers could beat Golden State or Phoenix in a 7-game series.
As of right now, no. I can't see it, no. But it could change. I mean, LeBron.
It could change.
LeBron has to get this team motivated and playing on all cylinders. I think they got enough firepower and enough talent to do it. I mean, Anthony Davis is, when he's on the top of his game, he's one of the top 5 players in the league. LeBron James, when he's on his game, especially in the playoffs, he's a top 5 player in the league. I mean, you got players like that. And even Russell Westbrook, if he can open up his game and stop opening his mouth, I mean, which he loves to do and dresses like a clown half the time. I mean, his game is absolutely prototypically fits LeBron James's game. And that's why everybody thought him going and running up and down the court with LeBron James was going to be the fastest show on earth. I mean, could you imagine? But it just hasn't worked yet. But like we just said, we're 20 some odd games into the season and people are already counting the Lakers out. And I think it's ridiculous. And don't ever count LeBron James out. I could say right now as a player, as a person that knows basketball. He is a totally different player in the playoffs. And if he is 100%, watch out for LeBron James. Watch out for this team because he is going to take names and take it with him. So that's who he is, and that's the player that he is. My question for you is, by the way, we are talking to athletic NBA analyst Travonne Edwards. You know what's been very impressive to me is some of these low bowling teams that are bowling right now. Cleveland, who would have thought would be a 4th seed right now in the Eastern Conference. They're 18-12. They get the kid from USC, Mobley, who's looked to me, in my eyes, is rookie of the year right now. He's played two-way basketball. It's been sensational. Really changed the personality of this team. You got to give that a lot of credit. And then Chicago with the offseason they had. I love Levine. I think he's awesome. But the fact that they added DeRozan, who has become a superstar player again from the Raptors. Hopefully he does it in the playoffs with this team, something he didn't do with Toronto, or the Spurs. But if he could do it with this team and take this team to higher heights, and then even Lonzo Ball has really changed his game with better players and better teammates to play with. So are you surprised that these two teams have really stood out from the Miamis of the world, the Philadelphias of the world, where everybody thought, hey, wait a second, these are the two teams, two very good teams, dominant in the Eastern Conference?
I approached this season in general just with a big question mark. I didn't know what to expect. I think this is the first year that it was almost wide open to a T. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you see all these players getting acquired and things of that nature. And you say, oh, well, the Lakers is going to do this, and the Nets is going to do that, and that's going to be set in the finals. You know, as soon as we got word that Kyrie wasn't going to be playing. It wasn't, now their chances were dwindling even more. And then you get to see James Harden where you're like, well, how is he going to recover from his hamstring? How is he doing? And he hasn't been great. You know what I mean? Like, he's still going to be an all-star this season, you know what I mean, despite his play. But, looking at these other teams and how they're developed and how they're, I had high hopes for Denver. The injury bug got them. They can't escape the injury bug. I feel like this is the same thing with Miami. Miami tends to get it together just because Spo knows how to, get guys going. But then you got like dark horses like Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like, it's just random teams. And, like obviously the Cavs being able to draft well and get things done. And JB Bickerstaff has been able to coach, and redesign roles for that team. You got Kevin Love coming off the bench playing like a hungry guy trying to make the league. You know what I mean? Like, and these things are inspirational. And on the other side, like thinking like Luka would have a better year. And now we're raising our eyebrows at Luka, seeing if he can actually win ball games that count, because those are the things. And there's so many questions with all these teams like down the line, you know what I mean, that you can kind of Portland, that they're going backwards, you know what I mean? So it's interesting, you know what I mean? And I think maybe Utah actually is taken seriously this season. I don't know, but they're rolling.
So I was going to ask about that next with Portland. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum both have been in trade rumors pretty much since since the beginning of the offseason and even at the trade deadline last year too. So do you think Portland waited too long to trade those guys, one? And number two, where do you think are the most likely destinations for both of them?
This trade should have happened roughly 3 years ago if you're going to move Dame or CJ, right? So it's been dragged out. I think they'll finally move forward with it. But Dame will stay.
Wow.
I think CJ will be on the move and go from there. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to factor in, Dame has a lot off the court. His mom's there, his family, they're all in Portland. They've been there for a while. So, like, that's just a major move, and he's never really wanted to move. They made the biggest move by, letting go Neil O'Shea. They're probably going to do a whole little culture reset over there. Obviously, they haven't been playing great. They've had the injury bug. CJ's out right now, and I think that those two could stay together. I mean, they have the ultimate respect for each other, but I think they've outgrown each other, and I think it's time for CJ to go east, and figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, as not even as a option one guy, but just a dangling trade piece. I think that's what they have. I don't think they part ways with Ann Simons, and they don't part ways with Nazir Little. So whoever they do decide to package up with CJ, he'll be on the move.
Well, before we let you go, because I know you're a busy man, and I'm sure you're getting ready for doing other things or getting ready for your show tomorrow or the next day, I want your opinion, and I want to get you on before the playoffs because we're going to come back to this. Who do you got going to the finals from the East and the West, and who do you got winning the championship this year? And we're going to get you on before the playoffs, and I want to know your opinion after that because there's still a lot more basketball to be played.
I probably would say the Warriors, especially if they go after Domantas Sabonis, packaging Kuminga and Moody, and probably another complimentary player to go get Domantas. That just puts them over the edge. But right now, with Clay returning, with Wiseman returning, also Wiseman could be a part of that. And then from there, I got the Warriors coming out the West. And then for the East, at the moment, I have Milwaukee. But things can change. Personally, I've been saying it, although I'm loving what the Nets are doing, Kevin Durant needs more help. And until the Nets do that, I don't see them beating Milwaukee in a series.
That series would be funny just for the purpose of will the Bucks fans wear their shirts, the 28-1 shirts or whatever from the 2015 season to try to troll them or something like that?
No.
I don't think so either.
Crazy.
That's for sure.
That would be pretty funny, though.
Yeah, it would.
Well, Mr. Edwards, tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at Travonne, Travonne, and on Instagram at Travonne Edwards. That's it. I mean, y'all can catch me on Basketbuds every Monday and Daily Ding on Tuesdays.
Well, I would love to get together one way or another. If you're in Brooklyn, bud, we should get together. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Brooklyn right now. I am a DJ, so there's a lot of warehouse parties and over there. got some big DJs over there heading over there in the next couple of weeks. So maybe we'll swap Twitters and get together one of these days. We really appreciate you joining us, bud.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I had a great time talking basketball with you guys.